So Connor, here's what we were working with. You had the chord down nice. Right? So when we use that third fret, what the chord's consisting of, this is the root is the fifth string open, that's A. And then that second fret on the fourth string, that's its fifth, that's E. And then when we do the third string open, that's G, which is the flat 7. So it makes it a dominant 7th chord. Right? And then placing on, this is a D note on the B string, when I play the third fret on that string there. That's the sus4, because if you think from A, B, C, D, right? So I'm a fourth away from the root. And I also don't have a third in the chord. The third would have been an A, B, C, right? In the case of A, we want a C sharp. So that's what we're getting when we use the second fret on the second string. Right? So when I do that, and I just got second fret on the fourth string and second fret on the second string, then I'm playing an A7 chord. Right? But it's nice to hear that resolve. So the suspension, which seems to leave us out in the middle of nowhere, that resolves it. And we can actually do just what I'm doing there, kind of like just back. I can even just open up. Right? When I open it up, I kind of get like a weird G chord. See, that would just be D, G, and B, which is really like G, B, D. Or G, skip A, do B, skip C, do D. So I'm actually just doing the basic triad of a G chord by doing that. Right? So that's another connection we can work with. Now I'm going to go through a few. Now the scale that I would play against that suspension, the suspended chord, I could carry over through the entire thing too, is that A, then I want to get the B, so that's what I'm going to get with the second fret on the fifth string. So I have A, B, so that's 1, 2, right? So I actually have what could be considered the sus2, and we could have done that. So I could have even used the B string open. That would have been an A7 sus2. There's A7. There's with the third fret, that's the A sus4. So I got A sus4, A7, A7 sus2, G chord, back to A7, right? So A, B, D, D is the 4, right? We already figured that out, A, B, C sharp, D. So the D string, the fourth string, that's my fourth. And then the second fret gave me my 5, so that was my E, A, B, C, D, E, right? Right? So just those two strings, the fifth string and the fourth string, I've got most of the elements of the chord. The only thing I didn't get was the 7th. And so I'll get that when I do the third string open, that's G. And then when I do the second fret on that string, I'm virtually just going back to the root again, because this would be G and A. G open, A on the second fret. So I started with A string open, and then I ended up on the second fret on the third string, which was A once again. I can continue as long as I know all these notes. A, B, D, E, G, A, B, D, E, G, A. So if I want to continue, that's the only 5 notes I really need. Okay, so it's A, B, D, E, G. Anything beyond that is just doing it all over again, right? And like I said, in that scale, you want to kind of like fool around, get little bits and pieces of it. Right? So that's it's a good lead into suspensions, which are very useful in rock music. Right? Jimmy Page used that in Stairway to Heaven in one little moment. It was a D sus2 to D to D sus4. If we were playing piano or something, Elton John used suspended chords. It was almost like his trademark was to do suspensions. So it's used a lot in rock, and I think the main reason why is a lot of rock players don't like to include the third. They like to bury it. So using the 4 or the 2 gives it a really cool sound. Right? So those are really kind of happening sounds. So, and like I said, I wanted to get a little further into this chord construction too. And what I'm doing now is I'm playing with things called 6s. Okay? 6s are really kind of cool. So in other words, if I look at this note, this was an E, and this was the C sharp, right? So if I'm using that, if I think from E to C, E, F, G, A, B, C. So that's why I'm saying it's a 6. There's a 6, it's a 6th interval, okay? So here I'm using F sharp and D. F, G, A, B, C, D. Again, once again, a 6. And then here I'd be using G and E. So what I was doing here, okay, so I had my A7 chord, which was both 2nd frets, right, on the 4th and 2nd string. Now if I went up to the 4th fret on the 4th string, and use the 3rd fret on the 2nd string, it gives me kind of like a little bit of a D chord. So you can hear that kind of, there's a D chord, right? But what I'm going to do is when I get to, I'm going to use that kind of as an interim chord. So I'm going to go back to inline, and you'll notice that my chord shapes will either be inline or staggered. Inline, inline, staggered, staggered, inline. And I'd be back to. So that's all I'm really doing here is I'm going up what's essentially the D scale, okay? And the reason why I'm using the D scale, which would have two sharps, F sharp and C sharp, is because the A7 is the 5 chord to D. Right? So I'm really resolving to D if I was going to. Right? So when I do that little bit of a D chord here with the F sharp and D, then I'm really almost resolved for a moment. Right? And now I've taken back out of the resolving, kind of back into D. Right? And if I went up each string, so I could have D and B open. That's 4th string and 2nd string open. 2nd fret on the 4th and 2nd string. That gives me my E and my C sharp. F sharp and D. G and E. A, F sharp. That's B and G. C sharp and A. G, D and B, which brings me back to the open. So here I've actually just really restarted everything I had started from. You can hear how it sounds like I resolve when I get to here. Right? So it's resolved even when I do the A sus4 down to A. But it resolves even more when I take the A7 to D. Right? So then it sounds more complete. And I'm borrowing the D scale to really do a lot of these things. But the A, B, E, D, E, G, A, that could have been all notes derived from a D scale, because it could have had A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G, A. So the only notes I'm really kind of getting rid of is those 4th fret notes. Right? So really that's kind of what's going on here. But it's a really cool. Right? So see, let me throw on a little drum pad to go with this. So it's a cool sound. getting that suspension. So I'll leave you with that. Something to work on. And if you have any problems with it, just let me know. Okay, and just message me, and I'll see if I can straighten out, answer any questions you have. All right, so